So, hello and welcome to the presentation of the PFP case. I will be reading the presentation instruction and then let the judges introduce themselves. You have 20 minutes to present your solution to the judges. Time will start as soon as you start your presentation. I will show you the remaining time using the chat when you have 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and 30 seconds left. I can also track the time on the Cuckoo link, and you can do it also. That will be sent in the chat. So the judges cannot interrupt you during the presentation. During the presentation, you will be sent to a breakout room. Following the presentation, the judges will have 10-minute period question to clarify certain elements of your presentation. So please note that during the question period, if a team member is speaking when the time is up, he is allowed to finish his sentence. Finally, the judges will ask you the mystery question. You will have 1 minute to consult you in front of them, and you will have 1 minute to respond. So I will now let the judges introduce themselves, and you may begin, so good luck.
C'est à nous, là, de... Oui.
Yeah. Normally, the judges can begin. You can, les juges peuvent vous présenter rapidement aux participants et ensuite les participants commencent la présentation.
Est-ce que je peux juste poser une question avant sur Coucou?
Oui.
On fait juste rentrer notre nom dans ça, on pèse sur la flèche, puis c'est tout?
Oui, c'est pour que... Oui, c'est ça.
OK, parfait, merci.
Pense, oui.
Okay. My name is François Louis XVI. I'm Regional Director from IG Wealth Management for the Boisbriand office.
My name is Robert Lesseur, IG Wealth Management, also Regional Director for Quebec City.
Hey everyone, my name is Kevin Amel. I'm a Regional Director too in Quebec Sainte-Foy.
Bonjour, Sophie Brulotte de l'IQPF, planificateur financier de l'équipe permanente.
I am Jean-François Gervais. I've been in independent practice for the past 9 years and with IQPF for the past a bit more than a year now.
Morning, my name is Benjamin. I'm a Regional Talent Acquisition Director in Montreal. Good morning, you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
we hear you.
Thank you so much for presenting.
Thank you. Nice meeting everyone. So I can start right now, correct?
Yeah, and I begin the time.
Hi, Mr. Durand. Nice meeting you. I would like to start off by thanking you for trusting us with the planification of your personal wealth. Just like a compass, as you might know, planning sometimes is always good to make sure 10 steps ahead of where we're going. My name is Robert, and I'm going to be your tax planner.
My name is Vladimir. I'm going to be your insurance broker and your estate planner.
So starting off in the agenda for today, looking at your plan, we divided it in 4 distinct categories. So first off, we would like to start with tax planning, after that risk management, and of course, retirement planning, which is coming soon, and estate planning. So the key assumptions we use today, I'm just gonna go over it really quickly, is that the marginal tax rate upon death would be 50%, required emergency fund was 12,500, the life expectancy was 89 years, and of course, the inflation was 2 years. These are really important as they will come back later in our presentation. So our executive summary of what we are about to present to you today was the financial obligations of Mrs. Laframboise. We wanted to make sure that you had a proper format of the will. We also wanted to make sure that the business was passed along on a tax efficient way. And of course, a power of attorney would have to be considered. Moreover, we would like to talk about your cash flows at retirement because we want to make sure that your retirement goes on well planned. We also wanted to talk about the insurances, and last but not least, the investment allocations according to your risk preference. So as you might know, tax planning might sometimes seem boring, but it is actually a very important part of everyone's lives. And that's why we'd like to start off with this to make sure that we're all on the same level in terms of ensuring your tax benefits in a tax efficient way. So we'd like to start off with the current net worth. So as you can see, I just like to point out that you have 35,000 in your checking account, and that I will come back to it later with your investments. So currently you have a total net worth, as you might presume, of $1,080,238. So something that we considered was really important to you was your grandchildren. Now, of course, we understand that you want to leave 10,000 for each of them to ensure that their education spendings are taken care of. And so we would like to offer you today to invest in a RESP, or what we call a Registered Education Savings Plan. So basically what it is, it's a tax sheltered plan to help save for post-secondary education. So one of the main benefits of this plan is that you're also going to have government contributions into it. In other words, you're going to either have the CESG, or the Canada Education Savings Grant, or the CLB, the Canada Learnings Bond. It would be possible to have two. However, the CLB is only offered to low-income families. And in your case, since we don't really have any financial information in regards to your children, we couldn't really make the assumption that you would receive the CLB. So we stick to the CESG. Another important part is that it's flexible. So you have up to 35 years to use the funds. However, the government will only contribute up to when the child is 18 years. So just a last note on that, actually the government, the CESG, is actually contributing 20% of an income, of a contribution room of 2,500, meaning that yearly, if you contribute the maximum amount, meaning 2,500, you would receive 5,000 up to 500 yearly, up to a maximum amount of 7,200. So here you can see, we actually started a graph just to show you how beneficial it could be. So we divided the 10,000 amount into 2,500 yearly to ensure that you would get the maximum contributions from the government. So we decided to start investing it today. In 5 years, the total amount would be 12,500 for each of your grandchildren. Next, we'd like to offer you another tax-efficient solution, which is the TFSA, or the tax-free savings account. Now, we noticed, as I mentioned earlier, that you did have a 35,000, where this is where we would suggest for you to invest it. So a TFSA is a tax-free investment savings account, meaning that the investments would grow tax-free. The withdrawals also are tax-free, and yearly you have a contribution limit of 6,000. Obviously, the contribution room might not be maximized, but you don't have to worry because that amount is rolled over yearly. So currently, you actually have investment amount that you could contribute to 69,500. So considering your particular risk averseness, we figured that it would be a great idea to consider this sort of investment strategy, meaning 10% in liquid securities, because it's always good to have funds for in case of emergency or things that you might not predict in current life, as it might happen. Fixed income securities, 80%, because we want to play it safe for your case. And growth securities, only 10% to make sure that you can still get a piece of that pie. So here is what your account would look like. So as I said, you had 35,000, but we still kept you an amount of 3 months in savings in cash liquidities. So in that amount, we were considering to contribute 20,000 of it right now and 5,000 yearly. So the total amount after 5 years would be 69,559, meaning that you would grow tax-free an amount of 5,230. Now, we understand in your particular situation, you would like to get into business with your sons. Now, that is actually something we take into heart here, as me and my comrades are actually brothers, and we understand how family is really important. And so we would like to offer you the Shareholders Agreement. So basically what it is, it's basically a set of rules just to make sure that everything is on path, because we understand that your children could not afford to buy a portion of your company right away. We can ensure that you, however, will receive annual payments until they contribute to the amount that they would have to be equal partners.
Let's pass along to the risk management. Mr. Duran, having a construction business, you're well aware that making sure that everyone is safe on the field is the #1 priority in your industry. This is why having a proper risk management in your personal life is going to be your and our #1 priority. So let's look at your current plan. We are aware of your T100 life insurance contract that you currently own, which is very important, and you currently own it, which is a great start. But let's look at what's the alternative we're offering. We're well aware that you're not looking into a health insurance or a disability insurance, which is perfectly fine with us. We will do our job of suggesting you what can be something on the side that you can think of. We recommend a key person insurance that we can go more in depth into the future. Finally, the power of attorney and a marriage contract that was on your mind that would like to make sure that we clarify. So let's go over the life insurance. As you're aware, it's a contract covering an insured for a payout for a named beneficiary, and currently you have an amount of around $200,000 that you're paying $1,800 of premium. This is great because that way you can be covered in case of anything that happens to you, and those premiums are based on your age, health, and life expectancy. And being a healthy individual at your 60s, we're really proud to tell you that you're in a great position here. However, what we would recommend you is to make sure to increase the insurance from $1,800 to $2,000, which will make your coverage increase to $400,000, which can play in later on. Now let's go over the key person insurance. Having a business, it's a big responsibility. This is why we believe having a protection plan, taking care of your company is something truly important. Really, this key insurance is really important for people which operations largely depend on the key employee. And this is why we believe you being the owner, it's really important that you stay safe in order to protect your business. What do we recommend to you? We recommend you get a 5-year term key person insurance for a yearly premium of $3,600 and a coverage of $1 million to make sure your business is going to be ready to operate in case anything happens. We chose 5 years because you're ready to retire after those 5 years and pass along your business. Let's look at the power of attorney. This is something that we believe is really important to take care of, and without a power of attorney, the government can intervene and manage your estate in a manner that you're not happy with. Moreover, it could result in delays and additional costs that can just be a burden for you. So this is why a continued power of attorney to your sons is going to be our recommendation. So a continuing power of attorney will allow the 2 sons to continue acting for you if you become mentally incapable to manage your finances and your properties. Finally, let's look over the marriage contract. We're really happy for you that you find a happy partner and that you're happy with. However, it's really important to make sure that your assets and liabilities are protected, and so are your partners. So therefore, establishing how do you deal with the ownership of your assets liabilities when you're together is really important. So what we recommend to you, this is not a one-person job. We will want to make sure that you sit with your partner and you discuss the variety of the financial matters that come with an agreement, and really to separate the assets and liabilities in the manner that you're happy with, and so is your partner. So let's look at that plan we started in the beginning. Having our recommendations here, we will be sure that your TO100 life insurance contract stays on top shape, your key person insurance is ready to protect your business, the power of attorney is there to make sure you're covered on this side, and marriage contract can be discussed in the presence of a lawyer and your happy partner.
And now onto retirement, the years that you've been working for all your life. Now, as we look over at your finances, by the time you retire at age 65, at the year 2025, you'll have net proceeds from the business of $938,000. And this is after deducting the liabilities that the business has. And obviously it's indexed at inflation for 5 years. And also your house and your land will appreciate over time, and your investments as well will have grown since we recommend that you start contributing to them a bit more. Now, as we move on, this is the cash flow outlook after retirement for you. the QPP and OAS combined that you will be receiving annually, and the registered proceeds that you will be receiving from your investments. And the total will be of 80,871. However, given your need that you provided to us, we will, by that time, you will be requiring only about 58,516 annually for your expenses. And the rest will be reinvesting it into your investment management account. And obviously there is tax implications as well. So as we move on, you can clearly see over here that your total inflows will match your outflows all the way to a healthy age of 95 years old. And you will still have money left over for your sons and your grandsons, and obviously your better half as well. So now on to, as for on the sale of the business, you are lucky since you haven't taken advantage of the capital gains exemption tax. And after the expenses that incurred for you to set up the business, once you sell the business to your two sons, tax implications will be almost non-existent for you this time. Hence, you will be able to benefit fully from the proceeds of the business. And at age 65, we're recommending that your RSPs be converted into a registered retirement income fund. Since RSPs by age 71 have to be converted anyways, but you are entitled to do it from age 60 onwards. So, and then you will start doing minimal withdrawals, which will be providing you for your retirement needs, along with your QPP, OAS, and also your other investments in the TFSA and the investment management accounts. Now onto estate planning.
And here we are. So this is really important here to really understand how exactly your assets will be passed along according to your wishes. So how exactly your position looking like at a healthy 95 years young. As we can see here, your total net worth is going to be around $1.2 million with the taxes of $450. So thanks to the T100, we can see that the majority of the taxes will be covered by your insurance, which can be great for this age. And let's look at the plan of what we're going to be talking about in the estate planning. We have the will that we have to talk about and how exactly it's going to be the best way to form it. The family trust, to make sure that the shares are going to be staying in your family and to make sure that the assets are passed away in an efficient, tax efficient way. And finally, the estate and how exactly and how much each person in your family will receive. Let's look at the wills. So you're well aware of it. We have the testator, the executor, and the beneficiary. We have the deal between the testator executive to name the beneficiaries and the three types of will that we will go over. And to look at right now, you are well aware of the holographic will, but is it the best one? We will talk about it in a minute. And finally, we have the executor and the beneficiary relationship to make sure the executor settles the estate and distributes the assets according to your wishes. So here we are, the three types of the wills. We have the holographic will, the formal will, and the notarial will. What's good to know is that you're familiar that will is important, and you currently had a holographic will that was made with your previous spouse. But what's important to notice is that the notarial will is the one that is really important here in Quebec. We really want to make sure that it's validated by the Quebec and it's valid in the Quebec and signed by a notary to make sure that your assets will be passed along and is going to be accepted. And finally, we're going into the inter vivo trust. This is something that's really important because that's a great vehicle used for during lifetime to ensure a proper allocation of your assets in a tax efficient way. It will be used to retain control over assets while transferring the rights. It will be, and for that, we will need a trust. We will need a will for the trust to be executed. And this is why the previous part, to have a correct will, is going to be really important. So what's our recommendation? Our recommendation is not only to create the proper will to make sure that you meet with our in-house agent with the notary to make sure the will is properly done, but also to create a family trust to make sure the assets are passed along in the tax efficient way. So finally, let's look over the estate. We have the total estate of $1.2 million, and we can see the it's going to be divided in three equal ways between Eugene, Victor, and Estelle of $366,000. And this amount is been deducted from the 50,000 that you will dedicate to your grandchildren, which is Julian and Julius, to make sure that they're happy with this amount and that everyone receives a piece of the pie. So therefore, we believe having a perfect plan to have a proper will, to have a trust set up to make sure your family is passed along in a tax efficient way, and having an estate that is planned according to your will, your proper demand, is going to be the key success to our estate plan. So don't forget that planning is a lifelong journey, and we are happy that you trusted Compass Wealth Management to be there to accompany you throughout your way. This is not our first nor last meeting, and we're really thankful that you trusted us. So let's see if we answered your question. The financial obligations will be made sure to talk about when you're going over the marriage contract. The business will pass along a tax efficient way to make sure that your sons receive an equal part as shareholders. The cash inflow of their retirement will be not only healthy, but also will match the outflows to make sure that your money works for you. The investment will be allocated in a risk preference according to you to make sure that it's not risky, but you're also guaranteed to have growth in your investments. The will be made with a proper format with the help of notary, and the power of attorney will be applied to your two sons. And finally, the insurances can be helpful, such as key insurance, to make sure that your business is safe and to go further into the future. So really, I'm really thankful that you trusted my team and I with our presentation today and to manage your wealth and your assets. We're opening the floor to the questions, and we hope we can help you with any of your future questions and your future goals. Thank you so much for listening to us, and we're opening the floor to questions.
Thank you for your confidence, Mr. Durand.